What is going on, everybody? My name is Mehul and welcome to your 37th AngularJS tutorial, in which we'll be looking at custom filters in AngularJS. Now, in the very beginning of the series, maybe like around tutorial 11 or 12, we looked at introduction to filters or something like that. The tutorial name was that. And in that tutorial, what we looked at is the inbuilt filters in AngularJS. Like, you could just convert a string to uppercase and it would work. Alright, okay, so we don't have the application set up right now, so you get the idea how this would work. So in Angular, what you can do is you can create your own functions, your own filters as well. So let's just create one. So in this video tutorial, what I'm going to show you is that how you can convert a number into another base. So to do that, first of all, let's just create some input boxes, text and ng model. Let's bind this with number and input type text ng model, whatever you say, base number, and just name, not name, number, and double BRs and a base. Here you go. And then your number in base is, now here's what we are gonna do, and this would be base number. Okay, so now we are gonna create a filter which would accept this number, and I'm just gonna get rid of this sidebar. Okay, so this number and this pipe, if you remember, starts the filter, and here's the filter name. We're gonna write some filter name here. So let's just name our filter as base, and what additional option would accept is the base number. So right now, two things are gonna be sent to the JavaScript by Angular, and the two things are the number, which is by default Angular will always send, and this base number, which we chose to send to our JavaScript code. Now let's get back to JavaScript. Now right here, let's just quickly create the application module. Sorry, this should be Angular, and this is main app, like that. And one thing you have to remember is that even if you are using filters without any controller, I mean to say that if your code is capable of working without a controller, but still you have to include an empty controller for the Angular application to work. And now to create a filter, what we do is we make use of this app which has your angular.module and filter. Now this method would just like controller accept two arguments, the first one being the name of the filter, which is same as this one right here, and the second one is the function. Now this function is called whenever this base is used in Angular, and this function would be called every time by Angular whenever the Angular's digest function runs. So your filter would always keep the website content up to date if you're using that. Alright, so here what we make use of is we return something to this page, and what we return is defined by a function again. Now we need this function because all of the stuff which is sent by your HTML page into this script is contained inside this function. So first one is the input, and second one is the argument 1, argument 2, argument 3, and the list can go on forever if you wish to, but since we have only one argument right now, I'll just restrict this to argument 1 or simply just the base. Alright, so now since we have access to these two values, and obviously I want to store the return value of this function somewhere so that I can return value from this function to this function, and this would return value to here. Okay, now I'm just gonna name this, let's say something, why not? And here I want to return something again. Alright, well, that was kind of silly joke. Anyways, now first of all, since we are getting these two values or these two numbers from HTML, we would like to make sure that these are numbers only. So to do that, what you can do is you can just create two numbers again, and or variables, sorry, and let's just say this is parsed, and this is parseInt input and 10, and this 10 is to make sure that the number that user is entering is formatted as a base 10 number, because you would have some problems if the user entered a number starting with like 0 or all that base 8 or 7 stuff, I don't know. Alright, so now since we have number in base 10, I'm sorry, and then we have the base, but since we are already making use of that, so why not based? So based is the parsed version of your base, and this one is base 10 as well. So now I want to check that if is nan parsed or is nan based, then I just want to return the input itself. Otherwise, what I want to return is parsed dot toString based. Now what happens here is when toString method is used on an integer with an argument as a number, what happens is this number or this value which is returned, this number gets converted into the base provided and is returned as a string. So let's just check out our application. Looks good. Okay, so base number, yeah, so this should probably work. And here's our page. Okay, so let's write our number. Let's say 1024, why not, because that's 2 raised to the power 10, and in base 2 it should be kind of like a million or something. So let's just start with base 2, and yeah, you see that this kind of looks base 2 if you can read that, and in base 3 it looks like 11, 0, 1, 22, 1. Base 4 looks like this, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and there's a limit to which this AngularJS can convert to, and here you see that it says me an error, range error, toString, radix argument must be between 2 and 36. So that was the limit I was talking about. So like you cannot have a base 1, see, it throws an error, or you cannot have a base 37 as well, you see, it throws error. So your permitted base conversion is between base 2 to base 36. Now let's just restrict that, and we just need a couple of more conditions here. I just want to say if based is less than equal to 1, or if based is greater than equal to 37. Then I just want to return the number itself, and let's just try again with, let's say 100. Base 2 looks like this, base 3, base 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and if you try with base 1 you see that nothing happens. And base 37, how about that? See, nothing happens. So what you can do is you can in your code throw some error here. You can return like error, I'm just gonna show you, error invalid base, or you can just split out these conditions and individually check if the number is invalid or the base is invalid. I'm just assuming the base to be invalid right now, you see, and 1 is also error invalid base, 2 is not, 3 is not, 4 is not, 5 is not, 36 is not, 37 it is. Oh, 337, my god. Alright, so that's how you create a simple custom filter in AngularJS, and go ahead and try with your own custom filters. And that's pretty much it for this tutorial, and if you liked it, then don't forget to subscribe, and thank you for watching.